Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining me today. I'm Jennie Montgomery. Welcome to another half hour of information to help you make the most of your time, make informed decisions, and keep up with what's happening in Greater Augusta. Today, as we start Season 3, two Titans in the two-state. Longtime United Way CEO, the newly retired Laverne Gold, and the one and only Flo Carter. If you are from the River region, chances are you've heard the name Flo Carter. How about Flo Carter and the Sounds of Joy? The legendary singer made a name for herself decades ago and still brings down the house wherever she performs. The road to her amazing career began when she was just a kid in Philadelphia. Her talent is in the genes, as she came from a musical family that moved to Reedsville, Georgia when she was a child. And boom, Flo won a school singing contest. Who knew decades later it would lead to this music video produced by her grandson, Brian Williams.
For glory, this train, we're bound for glory, and we won't carry nothing but the righteous and the holy. This train, we're bound for glory, this train. All aboard! This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train. This train is bound for glory. This train. This train is bound for glory. Won't carry nothing but the righteous and the holy. This train is bound for glory. This train. Don't you know that? This train won't carry no liars. This train. This train won't carry no liars. This train. This train won't carry no liars, none of those midnight flyers. This train is bound for glory, this train.
And Flo Carter is in the house, everybody. Flo, I love you,
I love you so much.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for being on the first show
I wouldn't have missed
Season 3.
I wouldn't have missed it for anything in the world, although I don't know why I'm here, but I'm so glad I am.
Well, and we're lucky that you're here because you had a bad fall this summer.
Yes,
or a few months ago, but look at you.
Hey,
You are just,
God
you
is
were
good.
wonderful. Flo, the irrepressible Flo Carter. So that video we just watched, I got to have a little part in it, which was a whole lot of fun.
Wasn't that wonderful?
A lot of local people got to be in that video with Flo, and including the late Sharon Jones.
Yeah, and including Carlton Howard. And we're going to mention it while I have
Yes.
a chance. He's going to have his 65th anniversary for the Parade of Quartets, which we've been on, you know, over 40 years.
That's right.
And that will be November 10th here at Channel 6.
Yeah, that's
so
gonna be a lot
that's
of
a little
fun.
plug for Carlton
Yay,
and Parade of Quartets.
Great. Well, Flo, you can talk about so many stories. I want you to take me back to the days of the Bon Air Hotel, back when it was, you know, such a great place, and
Grand.
You have great memories there from performing.
Yeah, it was the Grand Hotel. You know, it was so beautiful. Earlier, they even had a swimming pool out front. You know, a lot of people don't even know that about the Bon Air Hotel. But my mother was the executive housekeeper there for I don't know how many years. So we performed in the terrace room, and for 6 weeks at a time. Then we go downstairs and perform in the Oglethorpe Lounge.
Yeah.
And it was just a wonderful time because President Eisenhower and Mamie Eisenhower, Mamie would come to the Bon Air, and she gave Mama a Mickey Mouse watch. And she was a wonderful person, It was just a delightful time. And we were on the air then too, here at Channel 6, the old studio over in North Augusta.
Yeah.
We started there in 1954. The early television was fun times because it was all live, and no matter what you did, it was on the air, you know.
Right.
And people would see you on the street and say, "Oh, I saw your broken toe on television."
Now, how did you know Jim Neighbors?
Oh, well, we'd been on...
Because you'll say Jimmy. I've heard you talk about Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy, I loved him. I loved him so much, and he passed, you know, last year. And they've got his estate up now to be sold. I think somebody sent me the information, I think in the millions and millions of dollars, his estate in Hawaii. But when he came, he had just come from off-Broadway, and we needed a male singer. So when he came to the studio, Jack had been singing with me, but the show had gotten so popular, Jenny, that they had so many sponsors that I needed the male singer, so we were auditioning, and Jimmy came in that day, and I walked in back of him, and Dot Huff was playing the piano, and Jimmy was singing There's No Tomorrow. There's no tomorrow, like he sang, you know. And I was in back of him, and I said, now, because we did comedy. It was always comedy. Pop and comedy. And so then he went into this Elvis Presley thing with all the movements. Yeah. There's no tomorrow. I said, that's it. That's it. So he was on, he was on maybe a year and a half, something like that. But then look what happened to him. Yeah. He just such a talent. Oh, he could dance, he could sing. He was a wonderful person.
Tell me how Flo Carter and the Sounds of Joy came together. That's your family band.
That's the family band, and they came together after I got my voice back. As what did that lady say? She got her groove back.
And that's perfect, because that's where we need to cut this break off. Still ahead on Jennie, the singular event she's just talking about that changed her life. Stay with us.
I remember when Mom lost her voice, and it was a very challenging time there because she became very depressed.
I was going to all the doctors in Augusta. They couldn't do anything. I went to the St. Joseph Hospital. There was a therapist trying to teach me to talk for a year. Nothing worked.
In search of a miracle, Flo's daughters took their mother to a worship service at Broad Street Baptist Church, where this desperate entertainer met the preacher at the altar.
He told me to get down on my knees, and he anointed my head with oil, and the deacons in that church came and laid hands on me, and they prayed, and I got up singing. What a friend we have in Jesus.
That was a clip from a lovely special report that News Channel 6's Mary Morrison did with Flo Carter earlier this year, and you and your family were great to do that. You gave us such a nice behind-the-scenes look at your life, Flo. But the story that you told there was an amazing story of healing.
Well, you know, that's been the story of my life, healing from one thing to another. God has always been at the center of my life, and when I had lost my voice, you know, for that 9-year period, it was a gradual thing. When I finally, that was it. No doctors could operate on me. They said the polyps were so much in my throat that they couldn't guarantee anything, and I thought I'd lose my voice. You know, so I was at the, if you've ever been at a bottom level in your life,
that was it.
That was it.
How old were you then, Flo?
Gee, well, this was in -- That's when I got my voice back. So I was only 10 years old.
You were only 10 years old.
and I started off.
But you had.
But you know, when I got my voice back, I got the girls together. I said, just get yourselves together. We started rehearsing. We got the bus. When I got a bus, I don't do things little. When we do things, we do it big. So we got the bus and we started traveling all up and down the East Coast, you know, singing everywhere we could sing and talking about our Jesus, our Lord and Savior, you know, and trying to get as many people on the road with us to go to heaven as we were, you know. So it was wonderful.
And that takes us to This Train, which is what this song is all about.
All about. I tell you, that's been my theme song, you know, Jennie, for 100 years. But This Train is bound for glory. We really are bound for glory. What else is there in life? If you can't go out in the daytime and the people that you meet, you know, witness to them about what the Lord and Savior means to you. If you can't tell them about that, then somehow you've lost that part of your day. You need to, you know, that whole day should be about showing your witness as a Christian, you know, what you believe in and what kind of faith you have in Jesus Christ. Because in the end, you have to have the faith, because there's only two places we're going to go. You're either going to go up or you're going to go down. Is that okay?
Well, you know what? Not my rules, Flo. Not my rules. Tell me what it has been like in the years that you got to perform with your mother. Groovy Granny was on stage with you, and your daughters were on stage in the band. How did that feel, just all those generations together, Flo?
Well, it was a blessing. It was a real blessing, is what it was. You know, the Lord has blessed me so. When my dad passed, my mother wasn't with the group, and she was grieving so over my dad that I told her, I said, get your guitar and get on the bus. You know, Jenny, when I was a little girl, when I was singing in Philadelphia, I was on a radio program called The Children's Hour. And my mother had her guitar, and she was going in every theater she could go into and perform. And sometimes I could tag along, you know. But she had a band when I was 12 years old. She had a band in New Jersey, a country western band. Nobody had country western in Jamestown, New Jersey, but my mother did, and we played for all the political things, you know. But when we were there, and we went to the Eastern State Penitentiary, my dad was a guard in the Eastern State Penitentiary, and he was in that tower. He would be in that tower for 8 hours. They could not come down for 8 hours. And when I sang there on the parapet, I sang for the prisoners. The time that Max Baer went there to put on a boxing exhibition for the prisoners, and that's when I sang at the Eastern State Penitentiary. And my grandson Brian, who's, you know, with Brighton Entertainment, was going on a shoot with Denton, who's his sidekick, and they had gone through Philadelphia, and they'd gone by the Eastern State Penitentiary and talked about me to the powers that be there, and they want us to come up there. So we're actually making plans to go up there and you know,
well, wherever you go, you totally delight the crowds. You too can learn more about Flo and follow her history if you keep your channel on PBS. Watch from time to time, because PBS has just launched a special about Flo, and you know how they rerun things. So
Hometown Augusta.
We'll catch it.
It's
Hometown Augusta.
Yeah, it's going to be big for Augusta.
That's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Flo Carter, you're an amazing woman, and you've had quite a journey. Thank you so much for being here
thank
and
you,
blessing
Jenny.
my show by being on it.
I love you all.
We love you. We'll be right back. Ahead on Jenny, 40 years at the United Way of the CSRA. Laverne Gold looks back at her impact on nonprofits in Greater Augusta and what's ahead in her retirement. Stay with us.